Everybody keeps saying the Houston housing market is dead because mortgage rates are sitting around 6.5%. But honestly, that's not really the biggest story right now. What actually is happening is something way more interesting. Houston home prices have softened a little. Inventory has increased, homes are taking longer to sell. But at the same time, buyers are slowly coming back into the market. So this isn't really a crash, it's more like a reset. And depending on the price range you're shopping in, Houston is acting like three completely different housing markets right now. I'm Marcela Amador, Houston Realtor, builder, and investor. And today I want to break down what's actually happening in the Houston housing market without the fear headlines and without the fake hype. So first, let's talk about what the numbers are actually saying. Recent Houston market data shows sales are actually up a little year over year. Pending sales are increasing, inventory is climbing, and median prices dipped slightly. Now, when people hear prices dropped a little, they actually think, oh no, the market is collapsing. No, it's not what the data is showing. What we're really seeing is the market moving away from the emotional frenzy we had in 2021 and 2022. Back then, buyers were waiving inspections, offering way over asking, competing with 10 other people. That's not today's market. Today's market is more balanced. Buyers are negotiating again. Sellers actually have competition right now. And the pricing strategy matters again. Honestly, this is probably the healthiest Houston market we've had in years. This is the biggest mistake people make when they talk about real estate. They treat Houston like it's one housing market. It's not. Houston is multiple markets layered on top of each other, and each price range is behaving completely differently right now. The entry-level market, 150 to 250, the lower the price ranges are still very competitive. Affordable inventory is still limited. And even the higher rates, there are still a lot of first-time home buyers trying to get into the market, especially in Houston, because compared to a lot of other major cities, we're still relatively affordable. I mean, you can still find a house for 150, maybe not the best, but you can still find it. So if you're shopping in that lower price range, you're probably still seeing multiple offers, faster sales, less negotiating power. Good homes that are priced correctly are still moving pretty quickly. The move-up market, that is the $500,000 to $1 million. Now, this is where things really start changing. This middle and upper middle price range is where most of the softness is happening. These homes are sitting a bit longer. You're seeing more price reductions, and the buyers are negotiating harder. The issue is monthly payments. At today's interest rates, the jump from 400 to 700 home field is massive to buyers. So even people with good incomes are becoming way more cautious. This is where buyers are starting to gain leverage again. Has stayed more resilient than a lot of people expected. A lot of luxury buyers are less sensitive to interest rates. Some are actually paying cash, some are relocating, and Houston still is benefiting from these strong industries like energy, medical, aerospace, tech. Wealthier buyers usually buy based on timing, opportunity, and lifestyle, not just mortgage rates. So now, this is the part nobody's really talking about. Affordability has actually improved a little in some parts of Houston. Not because the rates dropped, but because the market calmed down. Inventory increased, homes are sitting longer. The sellers are more willing to negotiate, and the buyers have more options again. That changes the psychology completely. A year or two ago, buyers felt a little desperate. Now buyers feel like they can slow down, compare options, and negotiate better terms. And honestly, that's healthier for everyone, especially for those serious buyers planning to stay in the home in long term. So what does this actually mean if you're buying or selling? If you're a buyer, this might actually be one of the better opportunities we've seen in a while. Not because homes are cheap, but because you finally have negotiating power again. You can ask for those repairs. You can negotiate concessions. You can take your time a little more. That's a major shift from the last few years. Case in point, I had a buyer just a month ago, a concession, but we asked for it and they accepted it. Easy. And then also when we were negotiating the inspection, there was a few things that needed repairs. We also negotiated another $5,000. All in all, they were able to receive $10,000 off their cost, and they also ended up going into the house with approximately $40,000 in equity just by walking in the door and signing the papers. Now, if you're a seller, pricing correctly matters. The homes still selling quickly are the ones that show well, are updated, and are priced realistically. The market is no longer forgiving overpricing the way it used to be, and buyers today are much more data-driven. So no, Houston's housing market is not crashing, but it is changing. And honestly, understanding the differences between price ranges is becoming more important than ever. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe because I'll be doing more Houston market updates, investment insights, buyer strategies, and real estate breakdowns right here on this channel. And if you're thinking about buying, selling, building, or investing anywhere in Houston or in the surrounding areas, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help you. Cheers.